Hi, everybody. I would like to start and say that my name is Nia Wilson, and I'm a senior at Fisk University. And I just wanted to present my project over heart disease amongst African American students today. So the reason for me choosing heart disease is when I figured out that it was the #1 killer in America, I was like, wow, like knowing how many people die from cancer and from HIV or diabetes, all these different things. And I was saying like, okay, if heart disease is that #1, and knowing that there's ways to mitigate the risk and the cause of it, why not share that with my peers, especially since it disproportionately affects African American students. Um, I also wanted to talk briefly on stroke and how that kind of correlates in with it, because those who suffer with the stroke are more likely to, have a disability afterwards. So out of all things, strokes typically leave people disabled, and it's all in direct correlation to like the time and how fast they responded to it. So with that being said, we created a poster. I created a poster and I shared it with my peers through social media, through GroupMe, and I had asked my classmates if they were okay with completing a pre and a post questionnaire that was anonymous. And afterwards, those students would be raffled off for a $25 gift card if they completed all the questions and participated throughout the presentation. So with the pre-questions, we noticed that 12% of participants knew the signs and symptoms of a stroke and how to respond. So not a lot of people knew, and only 40% knew of ways to prevent heart disease. So after Dr. DLBryant put this great PowerPoint together and went through it with the students and myself, we measured, engaged how much students learned through that presentation. So at the end, the data displayed that 80% then at the end were new ways to respond to a stroke, and 87% knew of ways to reduce the chance of heart disease. Now, this shows some of the tables that we had. I thought it was important for students to know what they can change and what they can't. So 12% of participants were able to correctly identify that age, sex, and hereditary are 3 factors of heart disease that cannot be controlled. So you can't control if you're a male or female, or, the age you are, but there are things like your diet, sodium intake, exercise, that can contribute to heart disease. So those are things that you can control and mitigate in your life. So the post-test results displayed that by the end of the presentation, 98% were able to correctly identify the cause of heart disease. So overall speaking, I would say that this was a great presentation. Students learned and got a lot of knowledge from it. And then we touched on the acronym FAST, which is facial drooping, A for arms weakness, and like if they're able to squeeze your hand and respond. And then S is for speech, to see if somebody is slurring their words. And if all 3 things of those align, then the last acronym is time, which is the time in which you respond. So that first hour of when somebody's having a stroke, it is very imperative in their recovery process if they get into medical care immediately. So after teaching the students that and seeing who retained and who didn't, I just thought it was very important to share, because strokes leave people paralyzed or disabled more than anything else, so after the results that kind of came in, the questions and the presentation and everything, that when it all came together, I noticed that it overall was very, very effective. And I would like to sit down and real quick and just thank you guys for being here and tuning in. HBCU Wellness Project and Meharry for providing us, for me, with this opportunity, and Ms. Christina Haygood for giving me the means to put together such a great presentation and facilitating the process of my research. And Dr. DLBryant, who helped. She was the one who presented and came together. And I thought we did such a great job over the past 2 years doing this. And I would like to thank the XULA conference for giving me a platform in which to present and share this with you guys. So I thank you for that.